Hello, hi. So before I start off with anything, I'm gonna have a little story time about me. So basically around 2-3 years ago, my parents, or basically most of my life, my parents used to give me a small amount of money, for example, a week, a month, or a day, or basically, for a year, They would give me an amount of money to spend in that time. And when I had that amount of money in my hands, they would basically evaporate in my hands, They would evaporate. I would spend it on so many not necessary things that were not important at all, and they would just completely evaporate. But my dad suggested I start an online shop. And also, myself, I really wanted to start one too. So I did a lot of research, and one thing I did not know I would benefit from this shop or online shop was how to manage my money. We will get into that later. But first of all, when I started to get into the shop and give time to the shop, I noticed when I started to get my money in, I would keep this money because it was my money, and I would not spend it on so many useless things. I would spend it on some things that were necessary. And I would spend my parents' money on useless things. Anyway, but the moral here is to how to manage your money, but for students, because I'm also a student. First off, what's money management? Money management is when you manage your money for important things, for some things that you want, need, or have to have. So why is money management important? Money management is important to avoid debt. For example, you need to have some money for something that you want. You go ask a friend, can I have this much? And since you don't have the money to give the friend, to give the friend back the money, you're in debt now. And to avoid impulsive decisions, impulsive decisions like what? For example, you buy something that you don't actually want, you don't actually need. Therefore, you're doing something impulsively. For example, you have a car and a house, but you want a new car and a house. But if you really think about it, you don't actually need that car and a house, you just want it. And basically, to avoid a lot of things, money management is important. So we have to manage our money as students. And as students, because we're young learners, we are teenagers, we really don't know as much as adults. As you can see, we have so many adults sitting here. Most of them know how to manage their money. But if you look at us, we get 5,000. We're going to spend that 5,000 on something so useless you will never ever see again. And for emergency situations. For emergency situations like what? Let's say your parents or a family member or a pet that you have that's really dear to your heart needs a surgery. But you don't have the money for the surgery. But if you had managed your money better, you would have money for that surgery and you could pay for it. And how to create a budget. First off, why is creating a budget important? To not underspend or overspend your money. Creating a budget, how to do it, you first have to track your expenses. For example, a month, you have to track what you spend in that month. Let's say on groceries, on health, on school supplies, on anything you actually need, you have to track that amount of money. And then set a realistic goal. Setting a realistic goal, for example, I want to get into a really important college, or I want to get a really fast car. Set one goal, but set it realistically. Don't be like, I want to manage my money because I want to pay for an astronaut suit, or because I want to go to space. And prioritize your spending. Prioritize what you need and what you don't need. Some things you actually need. Health, food, shelter. Some things you want. Clothes. Not all clothes. You need some clothes, but you kind of want most clothes as girls. We love to go shopping. This you don't need, you just want. How to manage your debt. We as students, and as college students too, need to manage some debts that we're in. College funds, school funds. Sometimes you don't have a parent or a guardian to look over that money, and you need to actually pay for that thing that you want. And how you manage it is you first create a budget. You create, like I said, in that month how much you spend, and try to separate how much you spend in that month and put up some money for savings. Therefore, you have some money for the debt. And always try to pay more than the minimum. You owe, for example, a friend $5, and they said, give me that $5 back in a week. And you can pay them $1 a day, or you can try to pay them $3 or $2 a day, and you'd finish much sooner. But before I get into anything, I want to talk about a little wallet or booklet that I've made myself. It's very easy. All you need is a little plastic bags and something to combine them with. If you look here, it's a bunch of pages or bags, and I've separated them or divided them into sections that I need. For example, grocery money. Like I said, collect the amount of money you need in that month and divide them into things that you need. For groceries, for example, I've put 150. And for going out with my friends, I've put 30. School supplies, and so on. But if you look closely, at the end, I've put up saving. What you can use saving for. For example, in that whole month that you've always spent like here, and you haven't overspent or underspent, you can always put the leftover money in saving. And how to save up for the future. First off, not any of us are too young to start saving up. Not any of us here. Except my little brother. He's only a few months old. Anyway, you first have to start early, and never too early. Start saving up as fast as you can for a little goal that you have. I want to travel to Spain, let's say, when I get older. And set a goal, like a Spain that I said. And also create a budget for that goal. Like I said, the saving here, you can always try to save up for that goal in mind. You can always put the money that you have in the end of the month, the remaining money in the savings. And how to gain money through part-time jobs. First, let's start with what exactly is part-time jobs. Part-time job is when you partially work, but you have other works too. For example, my work is I have this online shop first, and I partially do school in the online shop. So basically, I've divided my life into two. And there are some benefits and some challenges to part-time jobs. And part-time jobs, let's say benefits. I meet so many new people, and I gain so much experience for when I'm older and when I want to grow my own business into something really big. And you get extra income. Your parents give you this amount of money, but you also have this amount of money coming in. Therefore, extra income, more money. And challenges of part-time jobs. Part-time jobs can be very challenging because you have a small amount of time. And it's very, very hard to balance. Why? Because me as a student, and I'm grade 11, it's very hard to balance my school life and my work life. Therefore, it can interfere with my academic experience. And I can either get lower grade or lower customers. And the last thing I want to talk about is financial scams. What exactly is a financial scam? Therefore, scammers try to scam us for things like, for example, open this link and you get $500. There's no better deal than that. You're just doing one click and you're gonna go into it. But if you think about it, they're not doing this for free because they'd be losing money. They either want to blackmail you or they want to take money from you. And by blackmailing, both of them go back to taking money from you. So we as teenagers or as young people need to be very, very careful to not give our information, your phone number, your address, anything that's related to only you. Try to never give that up, and try to never open the links or the phone calls that scammers give you, and try to always check the source and be cautious of unsolicited offers. Thank you so much for listening. And before I go into anything, I would like to gift two of my most favorite people in the whole school. Miss Shema, can you please come up here? This little gift is exactly like the booklet I made. It's just manufactured. She can use this to manage her money with. Thank you, Miss Shema.
Thank you so much.
And also, Mr. Erdogan, if you don't mind getting up. Thank you for coming. This, like I said, is a little booklet to manage your money with.
Is this one of the unnecessary things that you bought before your dad's suggestion?
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
I have a rule, a personal rule about
Of course.
this that I get from my students. So I want you and everyone to know here. I'll take every single gift that I get from my students in my office.
Yeah.
Okay, until the end of the year. So I will look at the results that you get from your exams and the feedback that your teachers have about you.
Yeah.
Then, if they are acceptable, I will take it. Otherwise, I'll take it back to you.
I will make you proud, don't worry.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you everyone for listening again, and I hope you benefit from my talk. Thank you.